Welcome to Mr. Recapper. We come with a fantastic movie recap, Spectre, one of the marvelous James Bond series. In this movie, our great detective, James Bond, is up against Spectre, a global criminal organization led by the enigmatic Ernst Stavro Blofeld, Christoph Waltz, who aims to build a national surveillance network to supervise criminal activities across the globe. So watch out for spoilers, and subscribe to our channel for more recaps. The film begins in Mexico City, where the Day of the Dead festival is being celebrated. Bond is also here with a woman. He leaves her in the hotel room, and returns to his work. Bond walks on the terrace wall as his regular walking track. He jumps from one building to another, and reaches the destination. Bond is told that there are some terrorist attackers. Bond stops these terrorists to the best of his ability. The leader of the terrorists, Marco Chiara, tries to flee, but Bond catches him. In the helicopter, there is a fight between the two in which Bond kills Marco Chiara, and manages to take the ring with the symbol of a black octopus on it. Bond then returns to London, where MI6 boss Gareth Mallory, the current M, expresses his displeasure with Bond. M suspends Bond from field duty because he went on this mission without permission. Then Max Denby, whom Bond dubs C, the intelligence agency head of MI5 and MI6, enters the room. While meeting C, Bond realizes that his intentions are not good. C wants Britain to join global surveillance and intelligence initiative called Nine Eyes. Once the program goes online, no one's privacy will be protected. C also closes the 00 program through its relationship, of which the Bond is also a part. Bond disobeys M's order, arrives in Italy despite his suspension, and attends Chiara's funeral. After everyone leaves, he meets Chiara's widow, Lucia, and extracts information from her. Lucia states that Chiara belongs to a terrorist organization, and that they carry out terrorist attacks all over the world. Bond arrives at a meeting with the same ring he had taken by hitting Marco Chiara. The meeting was called to fill Chiara's place. In the same meeting, Franz Oberhauser orders the killing of Pale King. Franz then looks at Bond and sends Hinks, a dangerous man who had recently taken out a man's eyes in a meeting, to kill Bond. Meanwhile, Bond asks one of his friends about Pale King. She says that his real name is Mr. White, and he is an ex-member of the same organization. But now he is hiding somewhere. Bond receives shocking information that Franz died in the record 20 years ago. After that, Bond manages to dodge Hinks with his advanced car. Bond finds Mr. White in Austria. He meets Mr. White and asks about Franz, to which Mr. White talks about finding l'Américaine and says, "Find my daughter, because she knows about l'Américaine, but you have to keep her safe." After these words, Mr. White shoots himself. The Bond then goes to Mr. White's daughter, Swan, a psychiatrist by profession. Bond becomes a patient, but she tells Bond to leave as soon as she finds out about her father. In the next scene, Hinks kidnaps Swan. Bond chases after them, injures Hinks and his companions, and takes Swan with him. Then they both go to Q. Q tells Bond that Franz wants to kill you, and Q also tells about some agents who work for Franz. Here Swan tells Bond that the organization's name is Spectre. Now Swan arrives with the Bond at the l'Américaine Hotel in Tangier, a city in Morocco. After much scrutiny of Bond, a picture emerges as he breaks through the wall, behind which a secret room appears where Mr. White's documents are found. Mr. White has marked the Sahara Desert on a map. Here is the base of Franz. Bond and Swan leave for the Sahara Desert. Hinks attacks them on the train. Swan shoots Hinks during the fight. Bond takes advantage of this, and throws Hinks down from the train. Now the two have landed in the Sahara Desert. A car comes to pick them up and takes them to Franz's base. Franz meets the two of them here, and tells them about his organization Spectre. Franz says that he has met with almost all the world's intelligence agencies, and gives money to MI6, which also has an agent Bond to start the program Nine Eyes. Here Bond understands that C is also associated with Franz because C also wanted to start this program. Franz tortures Bond badly here. Then Swan asks Franz why you are doing all this. Franz replies that Bond was an orphan child supported by his father, and then his father started liking Bond, and he would walk away from him, so Franz killed his father and killed himself too. Franz proved to be dead in front of the world. Now he runs the Spectre organization with a new name, and wants to kill Bond. Franz also admits that he is responsible for precisely what happened in Bond's life. As they speak, Bond opens the watch. Swan approaches Bond, takes the watch from him, and throws it at Franz, which causes an explosion and kills Franz. Swan and Bond get out of there, and the explosion destroys Franz's entire base. Now Bond comes back to London, where Bond meets M and tells him about C. They go out to stop C because the Nine Eyes program will be online at midnight. Here Swan said goodbye to James and left. Bond is attacked along the way, and people take Bond with them. M, Q, and the rest of the agents go ahead with their plan. Now M reaches and arrests C. On the other hand, Q hacks the Nine Eyes program and stops it. C gets angry when he sees this and fights with M, while C falls from the building and dies. Bond is brought to the old MI6 building, where Bond frees himself and kills both the men. He then enters the building, and the whole building is covered with wires like a spider web where Bond sees Franz still alive. Franz tells Bond that he has booms all over the building, and this whole building will be destroyed in 3 minutes. Franz informs Bond to save Swan in these 3 minutes. Bond finds Swan in the room of the same building. Bond gets out of here in a boat, and the whole building is destroyed as soon as he sees it. Franz assumes that Bond is dead and about to leave. When Bond shoots the helicopter to capture Franz, the helicopter crashes with a bridge. Now Bond reaches to Franz and points a gun at him. Franz tells him to shoot, but Bond doesn't, and M arrests Franz. Now Bond goes to Q and takes his favorite car with him, and leaves with Swan. So, how did you like the film? Share your thoughts in the comments section below.